Hey, I'm Cian MacDonald. I'm from Dublin, Ireland. I work in the FAI, the Football Association of Ireland, and I also coach on the side for Piedmont. I am 31 years of age. I started to begin hair loss when I was about 22 or 23 years of age, so it's about 8-9 years ago now. My hairline was slightly receding in the tips, so in the corners of my hair, and it was quite subtle at first, but it naturally got worse over time, and as time went on I was kind of tracking how much it was receding day by day, week by week. Yeah, it affected me in ways that I didn't think it would. I didn't realise I would have been self-conscious about my hair, or my hairline for that matter, until I started to see that it was receding slightly. It would have been quite seasonal, so if it was windy or on windy days I'd be probably a little bit more self-conscious about my hair. Also when it was raining I found it to be quite uncomfortable to be outside, and with what I did, and I was often outside with what I did for a living, so it just meant that I was quite self-conscious more often than not, whether it was raining or windy. Early on I spent a lot of time tracking the progress of how much my hair was receding, whether that was just looking in the mirror in detail, or I also spent a lot of time trying to find remedies. Initially I didn't do a whole bunch of research because the idea of a hair transplant was it was a foreign concept when I first started feeling the effects of it. So about, like I said, 8 or 9 years ago, I spent a lot of time just kind of being worried about the fact that it was receding, because I didn't think at the time there was anything that I could do to stop it or reverse the effects of it. So from the moment I started to see that I was having issues with receding hairline to making a decision and getting a hair transplant, I think it was about 7 or 8 years, which is an extremely long time. But like I said, when I started doing the research about 4 years ago to pull the trigger to book in with nOg, it was about 3.5 years later. The timeline as to when I started doing research, it was around COVID, so I couldn't do many visits in person, so I had a few consultations. Overall I had 3 consultations with different clinics, all of which are super beneficial in terms of getting a lot of information and detail as to what the procedure entails. So I found out about nOg through social media, through their Instagram is where I first saw that there was a hair transplant clinic in Ireland, never mind in Dublin, because I previously had my consultations and did my research in different countries, never mind in Ireland. So I was excited to see that there was a hair transplant on my doorstep as well. So I decided to delve a little bit deeper into doing my research onto nOg, and found out a lot of information, a lot of good information about them as well. So like I said, I had 3 separate consultations with 3 different hair transplant clinics. But I found that the consultation with Kevin, specifically with Kevin, was the most beneficial, because there was probably a lot of hard truths that I hadn't heard in my previous consultations. So I found that to be both interesting but really comforting, because I found Kevin to be less of a salesperson, which I found to be really, really beneficial. A lot of good information, a lot of detail, and I found it to be really, really informative. And for whatever reason, I was really at ease discussing the whole process from start to finish with Kevin. So after my initial consultation with Kevin, I believe it was about a month later when I decided to make the decision to go through nOg, and that was after a bit of going back and forth via email and WhatsApp. But I found it to be the most information, the most down to earth, and the most comfortable I'd felt with the clinic. So it was about a month since my initial consultation, and that includes when I came back for a final kind of meeting about the detail as to what my hairline or new hairline might look like. So the clinic's communication before the procedure was really helpful, really beneficial and easy, in that there was different ways to communicate, whether it was via email or WhatsApp. And I found that to be really beneficial as well. Like an example was when I was away a month after the procedure. I was on holidays, and there was a bit of an issue, a bizarre incident that I hit my head, and I was panicking, and I sent a WhatsApp, and within minutes I got a response that just put me at ease, and I found that to be pretty consistent throughout the whole process, from before the procedure, during the procedure, and after the procedure. So that was a really brilliant aspect of the communication element with Cian. The day of the procedure, I was filled with a lot of nerves, but an equal amount of excitement as well, just because it'd been something I've been thinking about and worried about for so long. But straight away, as soon as I arrived at the clinic, I was just completely put at ease with everyone on the day from start to finish, which I found to be really nice and comforting. The team here at nOg made me feel super comfortable. I was put at ease instantly, just simply with the fact that they do this procedure nearly every single day, and it was just another day at the office for them. During the day, I was really relaxed. I ended up talking to Natasha, Kevin, and the team in general about anything and everything. The playlist, whatever it is that they had on that day, seemed to be specifically perfect for me and my needs, so I found that to be really cool. Planned on sleeping or watching a show, but I spent the whole day just talking and chatting and just felt at ease throughout the whole process. In terms of what I expected the procedure to be, it was, and the only reason I say that is because I had done my research and I had done my due diligence as to what the actual procedure entails. In my head, I built it up to be maybe worse than what it was, but because I was aware of pretty much everything that was going to happen, I found that to be it made me feel like the procedure went by quicker, just because I knew exactly what was supposed to happen. So the procedure itself was what I expected, but the aftermath of it and the procedure and the process of itself, the whole thing